Hello and welcome to Cookies Enabled, everyone. I am Will, and we have Andrew here as well today. He is traveling across the great state of Michigan, and his camera a little different today. So if quality goes out or if we lose Andrew, it's because our cell service in Michigan is also very spotty in certain spots. So we're going to deal with our technical issues today, unfortunately. And you will also hear Andy, our music aficionado, in the background. Who did our intro song, is also in the car, which is very cool.
Well,
But
uh, to mention to everybody, I'm not driving right now,
very true.
so
Very important. Very important. He is definitely not driving, which is a
we
good
are
thing.
getting far enough downstate though that I've got pretty good 4G. We're not into 5G yet, so my video is probably a little choppy right now. And I do apologize for anybody. There are always idiots on the road, so you may hear a swear word or 80 coming from the front. So hopefully we're not too good yet, because that would
Yeah.
definitely get the video monetized.
Yeah, I doubt that will be much of an issue. Hopefully, fingers crossed it doesn't. But no, I definitely, definitely want to put that warning out there. They are traveling. This is kind of putting our live show in a bubble we've never really been in before. We've never been actually physically moving across the country while we were doing the show. So this is cool. It's kind of a first for us here, which is awesome. So this is very cool. But we have some pretty awesome topics today, as usual. First one I always want to hit on is SpaceX, because they've got a launch today, which is kind of a routine Falcon 9. It's putting satellites into orbit kind of thing. This is obviously what they do all the time. But it's like a ride share kind of situation, if I'm understanding this as well. That's where I'm confused. So I'm sure Andrew will definitely be able to elaborate a little bit more. And I guess there's other news with SpaceX as well, as always. That was
Yeah, there's a little bit. They have a basic ride share program, kind of like a Uber for
okay.
satellite companies.
Okay.
A lot of companies will have, I mean, they tend to be smaller satellites.
Cool.
They get the size of a mini fridge, they
Right.
be the size of a laptop,
Right. Huh.
and you can get those in space on your own,
Right.
uh, mainly due to the cost. So
Sure.
with the Falcon 9, they can pack a ton of them. I believe 88 on this launch today,
Wow.
and so it drastically cuts down the cost for these companies.
Right.
So some small telecommunication or weather monitoring
Absolutely.
company can pay a fraction of a full launch cost, which is already very low due to space usability.
Right. And being able to reuse
It
rockets. I mean,
opens up a lot of opportunities for a lot of these smaller companies.
absolutely.
Otherwise, you would not be able to do so. It happened before, but SpaceX hasn't really capitalized on that. So it's a routine launch. They tried yesterday, 11 minutes before liftoff. However, they had a range violation,
Yep.
which basically means something. A
Well,
boat, a plane, or something got into the range, down range,
yeah.
they call it, and that's mainly for the safety of
Everyone.
whoever
Right.
got in or rocket itself.
And aren't they
Because
using a trajectory this time for this particular launch as well? Because this is what I was reading, and I don't know if that's 100% true, and that was one reason why it was scrapped, I think, yesterday or something.
I'm not 100% sure. Sometimes the trajectory will take out towards populated areas
Okay.
or out into the ocean, which that's why they have to have clearance
Right.
from the FAA.
Absolutely. Every time.
And they monitor that all the time. Years ago, they had a launch that was scrapped for the same reason.
Mm-hmm.
Some boat had wandered into the range, and they they have a pretty good safety record. But
Right.
if for some reason the craft failed and it re-entered the atmosphere, there is a chance the debris could,
Yeah.
hit whoever's in there.
And
So
that's
they
not
take
good.
their security very, very, they monitor it, and they had to scrub it.
Yep.
But we hopefully get into launch today.
Yeah, I
I
think it'll
believe.
be successful.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, our weather here, if it's anything like the weather we have been having this last maybe week or so, I mean, I know you can speak for this because I'm sure it's been as bad up there as it has been down here. But I mean, the flooding and the rains and the torrential storms that we've had, we've had a very interesting system. So I can't imagine it much better down there. So between just the weather and planes and things, yeah.
Um, they're out of California, so it's a little different. Not their normal Florida
Right.
launch site. Uh, Again, it's just a routine launch for them. However, they're getting closer to the Starship orbital test flight.
Yes. Okay.
Some of the boosters, booster number 3, BN3 they call it, has been completely stacked in high bay.
Uh-oh.
All the pieces, all the held together, hook up the engines. This one will not fly. This will be a test booster,
Okay.
but the one after that,
Okay.
they're making some pretty quick headway. They want to orbital launch by July, but there's a chance that may not happen
Okay.
just because of the new clearance
Right.
from the FAA. But July or August, we're going to finally see the orbital launch. Now, the cool thing that I just learned they're doing with this, they want to try with the first test launch, is they want to have a few Starlink receivers
Hmm.
in the ship. They
Okay.
want to show the quality and the speed of Starlink internet
Interesting.
from a space. It also provide
Oh.
a lot. They're hoping it'll provide better quality communications between the spacecraft and the
Right.
ground control. Also would allow for more cameras, better views,
Right.
even during reentry. The issue when an orbital re-enters, you get superheated blast around the re-entering ship,
Right.
and that can disrupt communication. That's we saw that way back even during Apollo when they would have several minutes of silence
Yep.
while they were waiting for it to slow down enough. So if this works, it would be a big boost marketing-wise for Starlink, and could in the future provide a lot better communications between all of the craft and whatever they do. So we'll see how that works. They can get clearance from the FAA for that as well, but it'll be an interesting system.
Yeah. And I think this could be a huge leap in a lot of different ways, because now you're talking about global internet, and at the same time like spatial GPS internet. Like, there's a lot of different things going on here, and this is very, very exciting for companies, for people, for future space exploration, and or just getting out there and making it more of a public thing, and or a private venture, for mining and doing other things as well. So this is a huge, it's exciting. So much going on with SpaceX, it seems. I mean, it seems like every other week there's like a lot of news. I know they've had a few delays and things, always because of weather, usually about 90% of the time. But this last time it wasn't, but that's okay. I mean, it's what it is. So I'm hoping that we will get launched today. I unfortunately will not be able to be on to that. I will be driving during that time, unfortunately. But maybe if there's one later this week, I might be able to jump on for. I mean, my work schedule's kind of gone crazy. But we are trying the best. At least Wednesdays have been okay so far. But yes, so I think was that all the sex news? Was there anything else that we
That's
missed?
pretty much it for them right now.
I was gonna say, I think that
Again,
was
as we get closer to the launch,
right.
we'll get more details on when it's actually going to happen. So we're definitely going to have to see uh, a test firing of the boost, which is going to
Yeah.
be quite insane. I believe that'll be 26 or 27 engines
Jeez. Yeah.
versus
Versus like
9
the
to 12
4 or 5 or
practices.
something. Yeah.
So
Jeez.
it's big.
Yeah. Very big. Speaking of also big things, Mars is very big and has had a lot of things crawling around on it lately. And I don't mean biological things, at least not we've discovered yet. But China has been very busy and trying to keep up with the United States. What a surprise. Kind of like a Cold War, but this is nothing like what we dealt with Russia trying to get to the moon. Have already been to Mars. This is our fourth rover, third or fourth, I want to say. And this is their first, so
We have a
a
lot of them
lot.
up there.
We have a lot of
Honestly,
them there.
we've launched landers before. I
Yeah,
think there's only 1 or 2 rovers that are still in operation
right.
on the planet. Most of them are either in shutdown mode or they
Yeah,
passed through their lifetime or got
yep.
covered in dust storm.
I mean, but
Uh,
yeah, we definitely got the forefront there before really any other nation, as far as I can recall the news or history books indicating, but I could be wrong there. But this is a picture from the satellite, or from the Chinese rover, which is called Zhurong. I'm really hoping I'm not screwing that up. I listened to the name several times and tested it out beforehand. So I'm hoping I got that right. But it's actually a really great photo. I mean, just like all the other ones we've seen of Mars, desert. You know, it's nothing super exciting. A crater here, a crater there. You know, it's not like there's lava flows or anything, or something running around. But it is exciting. It's exciting because we're on another planet, and it's not just the United States anymore. So this is really, I think, going to be the forefront to not only the United States taking a step forward, but now we're probably going to have other nations other than just China and the United States going to get to Mars as well. So I think this is a huge step for people trying to really branch off planet and become citizens of a civilization of a different planet, but still be of a nation on a different planet. I'm not sure how that works. You know what I mean? But
well, yeah, once companies like SpaceX are able to prove that they can send orbital class ships to other planets like Mars, it would open up for, say, a smaller country's space program to hitch a ride on one of those.
Yep.
Instead of having to go through their government and funding. So yeah, I think we'll see a lot of smaller countries getting up there.
I hope so. And I think this will really, again, I hate to kind of make China the forefront there, like, oh, well, the U.S. was doing great. Yeah, but just one country doing it all is boring. It's boring. There's nothing pushing. You need competition in every kind of, you kind of want to look at it like a business. So now there's a competition. Oh my gosh, there's two nations, we got to be the third, and the fourth and the fifth. And I think that's really what's going to happen here. I think we're really going to see a huge propulsion of people and nations and civilizations trying to come together to really branch off and explore possibilities on other planets in our own solar system, because that is definitely something that could happen. So thank you, CNN, for these amazing images of Mars and of the China Rover images. That was wonderful. I made sure that my sources were legitimate and not from the BBC. So thank you, CNN. I very much appreciate you for giving us those beautiful images. Now on to some sad and hopeful news. I'm hoping we can put a spin on our good friend Hubble, who is kind of lost in space right now. And this is a poor memory glitch that has haunted this poor satellite since it pretty much got to space, and it's coming back to kill it, I think. And I'm really sad to say this could be the end, I think, for Hubble, unless they do a repair. I mean, this is a big deal. From what I have read, Hubble's main computer system has completely just it won't receive any new directions and or retrieve any old directions or hold any kind of memory without giving multiple error messages and then crashing. And now it has been running stably in a safe mode for, I think, 10 years, something like that.
Well, that's been running for a while perfectly fine. There's issues with its main processor unit. And they did repairs in 2009, back when we still had shuttle.
They did.
They had installed a backup processor unit,
which is also not working. Unfortunately.
They realized, okay, to fix this glitch, what we think it is, we're going to have to turn on this computer that has not been turned on in 12 years.
It's just been sitting in there floating around.
That computer is not working as well. But that does mean that the main issue is something else.
Yes. Not the
to those units.
Yeah.
So they figure out what that glitch is.
Yep.
One issue during it right now is that we don't have the shuttle to be able to catch up with it, pull it into its cargo bay,
and repair
it.
Yep.
I would not be surprised if they've got a team at SpaceX already trying to put together some sort of rescue mission.
I was gonna say, I could see this. Yeah, this could be something that could be an unmanned repair. I feel like a drone satellite with robotic arms could easily be controlled by a person on a planet and possibly do the repairs without having to send a whole you know, like you said, get the old spacecraft out, load it up with fuel, check it, shoot it out in space with some
But
astronauts, and fix it. They're
you
not going to
can't
do
do
any of
that.
that.
There's no shuttle that could be brought back to the surface.
Exactly. They're
Um,
too old.
but I I don't know how valid this would be, but I could see something where a Dragon capsule
Okay.
docks or connects to the Hubble
Hmm.
and moves it into an orbit where
Maybe the
it can
space
catch
station
up
or
with the
something?
space station.
Yeah.
They could use the Canadarm then
Right.
to do any repairs.
Which just got
Um,
repaired.
yeah,
So,
they can send up the spare parts or
yeah.
whatever they need to fix on a Dragon capsule itself. So I think there are possibilities.
Yeah.
But worst case scenario, if they cannot fix it,
Well,
they would turn
yeah.
on its thruster and just deorbit it where it would burn up in the atmosphere,
And
which would be sad.
it's
Hubble's
so
been working
sad.
for 30
Yeah, and that's the thing, that this thing was only supposed to go, I think, for 20, and it's already exceeded its life, and that's why it's like, okay, maybe we should keep it going. And it's, I mean, at the point, I don't know what the pros and cons are there, what the repair cost would be, because we still don't really 100% even know exactly what's wrong yet. So, is it worth spending endless amounts of money, or could they have rebuilt it and put another one in space orbit by now? You know what I mean? Like, that's kind of how I'm looking at it. So, you know,
years. I believe
I don't know.
in 25, 24, something like that, is when they want to launch its replacement. They are
Yes.
working on another
It's amazing
orbit
looking. Yeah, I have seen
telescope.
the prototypes.
Hey, let's wait a few years, get that up there, and then try to Hubble. We'll see. I would like to see it stay,
Yeah.
in operation. It has given so much information, and we've discovered so much about, especially the earliest moments of the universe.
Yep.
With this telescope, it is the most advanced space telescope ever built.
Yep.
So it would end to an era, which
Which
I
is,
guess very sad. But cross our fingers, hope we can figure out what's going on with it.
yeah,
But
I know the teams are working hard on it at NASA. I'm sure they've got a bunch of brain crews working on at least trying to figure out if there is a salvageable way within the budget or whatever, and a nice window of what are our possibilities kind of thing. And I'm sure we'll hear something in the coming months, I'm hoping. Because we've got a lot of windows of different launches and things they really tag along with. Or like you said, there may be a way for them to slow it down enough or speed it up enough, I'm not sure, to catch up with, or change its trajectory enough to catch up with the space station. And then poof, now they can dock it and, catch it, dock it, hopefully repair it from there. And that's risky even still. So it's better than the other options. But yes, I hope this is
if
not the end of
Starship
Hubble.
becomes viable soon enough,
Mm-hmm.
that would be a large enough spacecraft that could actually catch up to Hubble and pull it into the craft itself. It's
Right.
a large enough bay. Um, then send the Dragon as well, maybe with an astronaut crew.
Right.
There are possibilities. I
Yep.
don't know if SpaceX does have to save it. It might be time for them to either dust off Falcon Heavy or get the ship going.
Right. I don't
But
know. I don't know either. But yeah, something's got to give, and I don't know who or what or how exactly that's going to go down. But I have a strong inclination that Hubble is going to get repaired. I don't think they'll be able to fix it remotely either. I think they will have to find a way to get to it to repair it. This is just adding to the list. This might as well be called $1 trillion telescope, because I mean they've repaired this thing a bazillion times. It has been very problematic, but it has given us some amazing glimpses into our universe. So you can't, I mean, they're priceless. You can't take it's worth every penny, I think.
exactly.
So, I think they'll make the right here.
And we'll keep you updated
Yep.
as we get more information.
Yeah.
That's probably going to be mentioned in multiple episodes. As
Yeah.
going on.
Yeah, exactly. I know it has popped on a few news sources, but it's not like a frontlining thing. I think it should be. I mean, this is a monumental telescope that has really opened our minds to our universe, and it is on the verge of death. It's kind of a big deal. So hopefully they get that repaired. But now, one thing I'm not bringing up that you're probably hearing a lot about is the UFO articles that came out of the United States about all the 144 sightings.
That ended
And
up being nothing.
yeah, it's just, I'm not even gonna, no, it's all hooty hoo, ha ha. This was just a political stunt kind of thing. I don't know what's going on there, but I don't really have an opinion on it. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, there wasn't any substantial anything, nothing. I'm not mentioning it. Other than that, that's it. That was all. Other news. So, you got a OneWheel, and I'm sure you want to talk about this thing.
Yes.
Let me put this video on here. This is from their website. And this thing is pretty awesome. I don't know if you guys have ever seen these things. I've been lucky enough to not only see them in Kalamazoo, but also in Grand Rapids. Not all the time,
Mm-hmm.
but I have seen them.
There's 4 or 5 people that have them up here even.
Oh,
Uh,
wow.
I didn't realize I, they've been around for years.
Yeah, this
It
isn't
was,
a
I
new
think,
thing.
6 or 7 years.
Yeah,
No, it was a Kickstarter
exactly.
project, I guess.
Yep.
The beginnings were very rudimentary. A few chunks of metal, some custom software,
Right.
electric motor, and a go-kart. But
Poof.
really, they've really come a long way. They have a few different models
Okay.
now. There's an app that you can connect your phone, so you can adjust how it rides. They
Okay.
call it ride shaping,
Right
similar to
shaping.
how well, it's similar to how they would people would physically shape or
Right.
customize a sport or a snowboard
Right.
to, um, you know,
To your
so this
feel, yeah.
reacts.
Cool.
Um, Whether you're just riding it around town or take it out on the trail.
Right.
I've seen videos of like off-road races in them,
Hmm.
which is frankly a little terrifying to
Right.
me.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd be up for that, but okay. More power to them,
Um,
I guess.
just from the
Uh,
beginning, though, um, finally got one, wanting one for a
right.
while, and within 10 minutes,
Oh, I'm sure.
you can move around a bit.
Really?
It's a very quick,
Hmm.
very easy to pick up quickly.
Now, is it harder or easier than like a skateboard, or is it more like roller skating? I mean, because you can kind of
So
control it. So, I mean, how does this really compare to any other kind of like a bike almost? That's like, I don't know.
actually, I think similar to that, because it's electric motor gyroscopes,
Right.
it balances itself for the most part
Huh.
once you're on it, and just a subtle shift in your center of gravity, leaning forward or leaning back,
Right.
is all it takes. You lean.
So it's more Segway than anything else, really, essentially here. Just without the handlebar, the weird stuff. It looks cool.
It, I tried last year,
Hmm.
could not get it, no matter how much I tried. This half an hour I was doing fine, and the second day after maybe hours worth on it, I took it into work.
Oh man, that's so
Felt
cool.
confident, not falling yet.
Right.
It's so smooth due to the inflatable tire. It's not solid tires like that.
Exactly. You've got some cushion there, right?
It's very very smooth, even
Huh.
on not so it's not on like rough pavement.
Sure.
If there's a bit of gravel, sand, it'll go through grass.
Huh.
Um,
Hmm.
and even going over curbs or those little
Oh, like the
dots.
yeah. Yep, I know exactly what you're talking about. Yep. Huh.
I found out a while ago those are actually designed specific textures to help um, communicate with blind people,
Oh, interesting. Hmm.
so
Good
that
to
they can
know.
tell coming up to an intersection.
Right.
Um, on trees, a certain pattern means something else.
Yeah.
So
Huh.
that, but the single ride all the way through it,
Wow.
it's been quite an experience. You definitely get some looks. A lot of the kids think they're awesome.
Oh
Um,
my gosh, that's awesome.
some of the most, yeah,
Well, what's the
some of the most fun.
mileage like on this? Is it like 20, 30 miles before a charge something, or how does that work?
I have the small model. It's called Pine.
Okay.
It's lighter, a little smaller in size. Has about a 6 to 8 mile range
Okay.
right now.
Okay. That's still pretty
Speaking of
good,
6 miles,
actually.
yeah, they do offer battery updates.
Cool.
There are a lot of these that do third-party, like aftermarket uh,
Hmm.
devices for this. Different caps, different wheel
Wow.
sensors. Um, but the XRs, they're full size. I think that's got about a 50-mile range.
Okay.
Um, so it
Is it
it goes.
is it an interchangeable
Oh,
battery? Can you just swap the battery with another pack or something too? Like, oh poof, I got more power.
uh, you void warranty if you do that.
Oh.
It would be interesting if they eventually make one with a removable battery pack.
That would be the idea. I would wait for that one. That's what I'd go for.
Backpack, run out, just hot swap another one in.
Right, right.
Be something they actually look into. I don't know. Again, they're still pretty
Yeah,
new,
this is such a new
but
thing. I'm loving the idea. Either way, this is so cool. So cool. I mean,
they really, and even in the video, you see where
yep.
the difference in the first models to what they have now. Um, but it's
Very
quite an
cool.
experience.
I am excited. Hopefully, I'll get to try it someday pretty soon here. I know I see them all over the city, and they've got all kinds of scooters and stuff, but nothing like this that you can rent or anything just yet. But hopefully, maybe in the future, I'll have some spare cash and be able to just get one because they look like a ton of fun. I love little things like this.
Um, I had been thinking about it and wondering about it for a
Right,
while.
right.
There was someone on one when I was walking home one day, talked to him for a moment, said, "You want to give it a shot?" And after just getting out and going a few dozen feet down the sidewalk, that was enough
That
to
was it,
make it there.
huh? You're like, I'm sold. All I needed, that one little foot of gravel was perfect. You know, and I think that's pretty much how it would go for me too.
Um, and all of the all the programming sensors in there to keep it stable,
Right,
to keep the voltages on these
right.
batteries working right. They've come a long ways, and it's
It is very
yeah,
cool,
it's
Ken.
just
I gotta say, like, this is probably, okay. Just so I love, I'm really good at rollerblading, roller skating, biking. I am terrible. I've never been able to skateboard or ski or snowboard, and I live in Michigan, so you'd think I'd be really good at those things. Unfortunately, I'm terrible at them. But at least like I got the other stuff. But I think I could actually do this. I think this. Again, it's more just keeping your balance, which is again biking, rollerblading, roller skating. It's all this. You're just holding your balance and adjusting your weight to hit speed. You know, there's a little more going on with biking and rollerblading and skating. But this, I mean, yeah, this is very straightforward, and I think would come kind of logically. You know, with me, with just
well, you are on just one wheel,
right,
obviously, but like your forward momentum really helps to keep it stable and going where you want.
right,
That really make difference, I think. Once you go a little faster, it's easier.
right.
When you're slow, obviously, you have to use a lot more balance to keep on it without falling off. I have had to jump off a few times.
Hello,
What I like
Scoot
about
Girl, my
skateboard,
sister. Sorry, she just commented.
what I like about this compared to a skateboard is if I jump off, it doesn't keep going out. There's foot sensors,
Exactly.
and even if your front foot lifts halfway off one of the sensors, it cuts the motor and
Okay.
it doesn't go.
And it doesn't just like freeze stop you so you go like chucking through the air or anything, right? like it actually
It gives you
slows down, right?
going too fast, or if you're pushing the board faster than it's supposed to, it will kick back and let you know.
right.
Um, it even allows for regenerative braking. You're going
Oh,
down a hill,
wow.
much like how Tesla do. So it
Okay,
gets a little
cool.
bit of extra juice back in the battery.
That's so
So
cool, actually, and that's ingenious. Seeing that it's just like that, and again, if they made one with a swappable battery, which I'm sure they're probably working on, because that would be
it's
huge. I mean, just being able to swap a battery out, and you could have one in your backpack and pre-charge it. You know, that was a big thing with what cameras, phones for a while. You could actually get interchangeable batteries with your phones. I used to know they could carry multiple. I actually used to have for my Evo 3D phone, which was like one of the first 4G phones that I had, actually had swappable batteries, so I could swap them out. And I had two batteries for it. Problem is, I had to plug it into the phone to charge it, so that was a pain in the butt. But I would love that. I think that's definitely something that people, you know, I think are going to want. But it's so cool nonetheless. I mean, even with the downside of having to, you know, actually charge it. I mean, the charging can't take that long, and maybe a couple hours, right? Yeah, at most. So I mean, that's not terrible at all. So, and I'm kind of surprised they don't have something that's more of like a super capacitor instead of a battery. I feel like you might be able to almost get more mileage versus a charge. I don't know. I don't. Maybe not. Maybe not. I don't know. Anyway, something to think about. But I thought that was really cool. Thanks so much for sharing the OneWheel with us. And hopefully, if you guys are interested, check out their website. I'm going to post all of that in our comment section for sure. I definitely want to hit on Windows 11. It has definitely hit its public beta release. My sister is saying that she couldn't ride on those, and she is trying to relearn roller skating. And Carrie, I know you'll get the roller skating in no time. You had it when we were younger. You were flying around those rings with us, so I know you'll catch on. If it's anything like what I had to experience, oh, and I know you're good at ice skating too, and I'm really good at that as well. I didn't even realize I was actually pretty good at that. That's kind of a rare thing, but I can't snowboard or ski, which is so weird, so weird. So anyway, Windows 11. This thing, pretty cool, I gotta say. Sorry, I gotta resize this really quick. This out for its public release. If you are in Windows Insider program, you can actually download Windows 11 beta now. And I really have to emphasize beta because some of the things I hit on in my Windows 11 random daily discoveries video, the fact that it was going to be able to do Android apps, which is really what I'm so excited about. I can have Android apps on my PC pinned to my start menu and go from there. That's awesome. I love that. I can have them on my taskbar, on my desktop. I can, like, regular program. That has been needed since Windows 8, really. They should have had that a long time ago, and developers needed to jump on this, and I think that's really what they were waiting on. And the beta...
It's a health developers.
Yeah, but the beta doesn't even have that ability.
Either.
You can't even test it out on the beta yet. You have to wait. It's not part of the preview, unfortunately. So you're really just...
I'm wondering if that might be due to licensing with the Google, the App Store, perhaps.
I was wondering that too. I didn't know exactly how many apps we would be getting from the Google Store. Is it literally every app that's available, or is it going to be picky and choosy? We really don't know. None of the videos have pointed this out. So
theoretically, it has support for Android apps. That would just be the programming language, and it should allow for any of it.
Exactly.
So I'm sure people are digging around the source code for it right now that they have their hands on the beta version.
Right. I'm sure we're going to discover a lot more.
Channels do this info on what it's capable of right now. And
oh, yeah. So I'm just excited that it's actually, I mean, they just started talking about this like just a couple of weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, and or last week, they did the major press release, and now the beta version's already out for public, which is huge. Again, it's very condensed. You're missing this whole DirectX stuff you're seeing right now. The whole marketplace is still the old marketplace. It's not the new one yet. And the third-party app support is gone. Plus, apparently, they're having issues with some programming issues with if you have multiple users on your computer, and they're trying to sign in and out or shut down the computer. That's also a problem. So I'm telling people, wait on this beta. Don't jump on it. It's a beta. That means that it is still being programmed. Everything you're doing on that beta is going to be heavily monitored and watched and tracked, and just in case something goes wrong or crashes or doesn't work, that way the coders know where to pick up and where to go from there. So
I'd say if someone has a powerful enough machine, just run it in a virtual machine. Just
there you go.
The experience. That's not
yep.
a possibility. And I know pretty much all of the modern computers out there can run it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, if you're going to try it out, run it that way instead of even full booting, because if it does crash, there goes your bootloader, and there goes your other main OS. So don't install on a hard drive yet. They've worked out all problems.
Yeah.
Set up a virtual machine. It's
be careful.
Easy these days.
Be smart. If you're inside the like, I was a part of the inside program actually for a while. I had to jump out because my tablet was just too old. It couldn't keep up anymore. And the software they were outputting, literally in Windows 11, I do not think will be able to be supported on my my tablet. It is barely a Celeron processor in that thing. It runs Windows 10 okay, but okay, you know what I mean? Like, so
you can test.
I think I'm losing you again. Again, sorry everybody for the quality here. He is driving, not actually driving. He's in a car. Someone else is driving. I should point that out. But he is moving, or technically, physically moving across the state of Michigan right now. So we may lose our connection. I'm hoping it comes back here. But yeah, Windows 11 looks fantastic. I seriously cannot wait for a final beta or a final public version to come out. That will very much be a final, like before the release. It'll probably come out later this year, most likely. I want to say August, September. You'll see a way better build Windows 11 come out, and that one will be the one that I probably test myself. Most likely on that machine you see, if I can get my finger to work, right there in the background, this big silver box. Most likely we'll be able to run Windows 11. I'm not 100% sure yet. Again, it's pretty old, but
I think I'm back.
I'm sure you are.
I was wondering if you would test it on
Yes.
your old machine, or maybe your current build is powerful enough.
It is very much so. This thing could very much. I actually went on doing that. Hopefully, sometime this week. One of my days, I'm only working like 5 or 6 hours or something. I'm hoping that day I can try the virtual machine out and at least test it because I'm excited. I always love to try those betas.
Try beta and see what it's like.
For real. So excited.
You can do a screen capture of the VM and post that.
Yep. So this is very exciting stuff, though. I think Windows 11 is going to be maybe not as big as Windows 10, but I think it'll be probably more accepted than Windows 10 was, because Windows 10 was kind of like a, oops, we screwed up Windows 8, so here's something else. And it just stuck around because people like it. And Windows 11 is like, here's what we meant to do. Sorry about all those other shenanigans. So, yeah. Now, there was one last thing I wanted to talk about today. Totally different topics, totally different technology. And this is called a nuclear, and I just screwed that up so bad, nuclear battery. That's what this thing is. It is actually a whole nuclear or power plant that has been crammed down into this tiny little building that's probably the size of like a bus, like a city bus is kind of what they're saying. And it is fully encased in a steel kind of capsule. Looks kind of like a giant like pea pod almost, which is kind of weird. But this thing is a full battery that can actually power up to 300 megawatts of power for, I think it said 3 to 5 years without any maintenance. And then it gets sent back to the factory to get refurbished, and then it goes right back out again. And it can be used for anything from like maybe a neighborhood that's out of power for some reason. Plug the baby in, and you probably do about, it said 10 to 30 houses depending on the size of the house. Now it could also do businesses, military applications here. Pretty cool stuff.
Looks like just like a toned down version of like a reactor you'd see on a sub.
That is exactly it. Yep, and that's pretty much, they just flipped it outside.
And probably there are battery packs in there to store the electricity. But yeah,
it's pretty genius actually.
Everything that you don't need and have it just power.
And this is supposed to be because we're really pushing into renewable energies. What if the wind doesn't blow and the fan doesn't spin or the sun doesn't shine? These are our fail safes that could just be there to back up our neighborhoods and back up our cities and back up whatever you need at that point. And it's not just like a regular generator. This thing goes for years without anything to, you don't flick a switch, push a button, turn a valve, put water in it. You have to do nothing. You just install it. And then after, I think it was 5 to 10, you have to get it refurbished. And you send it back to the company that you bought it from, and then they will fix it up and send it back to you. And this is a safety regulation, like all factories that hold any kind of radioactive material. About 3 to 5 years, they go through those maintenance checks to make sure that none of that radiation is leaking out into the world, because that's the problem. We can't have that. So that's why those refurbishments are even needed. Otherwise, these things could go for almost 15 years without any maintenance at all, which just blew my mind. And again, it's not as nearly as much as a normal nuclear factory would even come close to putting out power-wise. I mean, it's about 10 times less. That's the point at all. These things are also 100 times smaller than normal factory. They're the size of a city bus and can be moved by a flatbed, semi could just wheel this right down the highway, and you'd be driving right on by singing Katy Perry. Nobody knows, none the wiser. You just drove by a nuclear power plant that's going to be put in somebody's neighborhood as a backup battery in case, like, the neighborhood needs power and for some reason, you know, somebody wants to do that. So this is really cool. I think this is a technology that we're going to see get even smaller and get even smaller, probably backpack size, and that will probably be able to do like maybe 5 to 10 houses for maybe 3 years or something. Would be cool. So we'll see how this goes. Check out the link in the details below. But that was pretty much all the news I think we had for today, which is a lot, actually.
So we got a few comments in there. That's nice.
Yes, thank you, sister. You are awesome. Definitely check out her channel as well. She is Scoop Girl at on YouTube as well, and she has some amazing videos out there. She's been doing this for years. So thank you for the support there. I always love the fellow fans, followers, friends, as well as family jumping on to support me.
I think I cut out once. So it was probably switching between cell towers, I bet.
Yes, yes, that does happen. Yep, that's what resizing I think was too. That's why I was like, wait a minute. He'll come back. It'll find us. It'll find us, because my side was still connected, so I knew it would come back. You know, technology. But yes, this was the full 40, almost 50-minute show here, completely virtual. I mean, you are literally in movement physically. So kudos to your cell provider. Was that Metro or I mean, you're probably, I don't know actually. I have no idea. I'm Sprint, technically T-Mobile. Oh, you're AT&T, really? Wow.
Yeah, the signal lasted all the way through.
Man, you know, I thought about switching to AT&T, and I was considering it too. So I may consider that as an option. But yeah, very cool that we had a really good, clear connection most of the time. It resized every now and then, and I tried to fix it. But it really wasn't that. I mean, it would just, you know, you give it up to high def, poof, you're back up to normal. So that went really, I mean, very cool. I think that was very successful for everybody, and I hope everybody learned something new today. I know I had a great day, and thank you again, Soup Girl, for your amazing comments. And again, if you have any questions, comments on anything we talked about today, definitely drop it down below, and we will definitely follow you up with an email and or just with follow comments and bring you up in another video. We do too. But if you have any topics you guys want to know about for main episodes, let us know, and hopefully I will have one for you guys in the next couple of days. Otherwise, I will see you all later. Hopefully, I know I learned something new, and hopefully you all did too. And I will talk to you guys later. Guys, have a great one.